Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we finally have news. Not just news, but a lot of news. There's 2 blogs, a trailer, there's loads and loads of stuff. So, first thing you need to know is that we're going to talk a little bit about the trailer. It's just the end because they have finally hinted the DLC that you guys have been waiting for. But if you haven't seen the trailer just yet, there is a timestamp. It's at the end of the video. You can check that out and then come back here. Okay? Now, with that being said, let's play the clip. I recognize that armor pattern anywhere. That is a Chaos Dwarf, and we are in the Forges of the Darwizar. You can see some slave orcs and goblins there. So yeah, why am I so sure? Well, because I've been painting a lot of Chaos Dwarfs lately, from the Forger world and the older edition style, and I know that armor pattern style anywhere. Believe me, nobody knows the Chaos Dwarf stuff more than me right now. So with that, they've pretty much confirmed what the next DLC is, even though we all kind of knew, but yes, it's the Chaos Dwarfs. Finally, another race pack and the Darklands won't feel so empty. Now we're going to move on to a few things because a lot of information has just been dropped today and there's some really important stuff. Creative Assembly have been listening to the fan base and it's very certain. For example, the biggest news today is that patch 2.4 is dropping, and it's not just that, but Immortal Empires has been opened up to everyone, meaning that if you just own Warhammer 3, you will already be able to access the Immortal Empires and get the big map you've always wanted. You will no longer need access to Game 1 and Game 2. Keep in mind you will still need access to Game 1 and Game 2 or its relevant DLC if you want to play as those specific factions, which, yeah, fair enough, it's basically you pay for the content that you want to play with. But this is fantastic as this opens up the game to a lot more players, loads of people who just own Game 3 and wanted to see the Immortal Empires before diving into the other games. Fantastic. I know it's something that we've all been asking for pretty much since the Immortal Empires got announced and released. Yeah, we finally got it, boys. We finally got it. So some big news here, and we're going to start reading over all the sections and just go through it. So if I only own Warhammer 3, can I access everything in Immortal Empires? Ownership of Warhammer 3 grants you access to the Immortal Empires campaign, plus the base game Lords, and Lords included with Warhammer 3 at launch, specifically Demons of Chaos, Cafe, Khorne, Kislev, those are a lot of characters already, Nurgle, Sinesh, Tzeentch, and finally, yes, a Warriors of Chaos base game Lord. That would be Be'lakor, whose FLC released for Immortal Empires. I think this is a very good thing that Creative Assembly have done, because if you don't own access to the Champions of Chaos, which you should, it's a great DLC by the way, all the original Warriors of Chaos Lords, this would be Archaon, Kolek, and Sigvald, well, now you already have the chance to try out the Warriors of Chaos. Very well done here, Creative Assembly. You've done a great job here, and I can't really praise you enough here. Let's start moving on. How do I access the races not included in Warhammer 3 when I'm playing Immortal Empires? There are several races available in Immortal Empires that are unlocked if you own Total War Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 2, or the numerous DLCs released for both titles. These purchases are not required to play Immortal Empires, but are required to unlock some of the playable races and lords. For example, purchasing Total War Warhammer grants access to every race and lord present in the base game, including the Empire, Greenskins, and Dwarfs, etc. when playing Immortal Empires. Am I able to buy DLC for Total War Warhammer or Total War Warhammer 2 to access a specific race even if I don't own the main game they were released for? Yes. DLC for these games can be purchased regardless of whether you own the game they were released for. Oh, wow. And will unlock any associated lords in Warhammer 3. For example, if you want to play as the Vampire Coast in Immortal Empires, you only need to purchase the Curse of the Vampire Coast DLC for Warhammer 2, and you can do that without having to own Warhammer 2 base game. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is actually really good. Well done, Creative Assembly. This is amazing. I know some people aren't interested in certain races from Game 1 and Game 2, so just being able to just say, well, I want to play Tomb Kings, and they just buy the Tomb Kings, that's great. Or if you've still not got those DLCs and the sale pops up specifically maybe for DLC or whatever, you can just buy one race and you don't have to buy the base game. It's already available for you in Warhammer 3. This is a fantastic, monumental change, which is definitely going to open up the barrier of entry to loads and loads of players. I am really, really happy about this. The next section, how can I access previously released free DLC for use in Immortal Empires? Ownership of any free DLC is tied to the ownership of the races that said content belongs to. So for example, if you're looking to add Imric to your roster of heroes, you need to purchase either the Warhammer 2 base game or just the Warhammer 2 DLC, the Warden and the Paunch, both of which include this legendary Lord of the Isles. Oh wow, yeah, okay, very good thing. On the other hand, to acquire the Bone Giant DLC unit, you must purchase the Rise of the Tomb Kings campaign pack from Warhammer 2, in which they are included. Yeah, that makes sense. A complete list of available races, units, and lords can be found below. Any free content associated with any race included in content you have purchased will be automatically added to your account. Other free content that is granted to you via your CA account remains unchanged. Okay, yeah, okay, so this makes sense. One thing I absolutely love, I can buy a DLC for, say, for the Skaven without owning Warhammer 2 base game and be able to play as that specific Skaven faction. You should buy everything relating to the Skaven, by the way, considering that all the Skaven DLC is probably the best they've released for Warhammer 2. But yeah, this is great. The Bone Giant thing makes sense because obviously that's a Tomb King only unit. And yep, this is great. This is very, very good. Presumably, you can just download Bretonnia completely for free without even owning Game 1. So that's great because the Bretonnian factions are actually quite cool. Yeah, so far, I'm actually really happy. See, we didn't really get told this in advance. So I'm reading this for the first time when they gave us the stuff early now to make this video. So this is all very surprising to me. And I actually really... I'm genuinely happy. I'm generally just surprised too. Last two sections here before we go into the actual list. I don't have access to a race/lord that I have purchased. What should I do? Contact customer support. There'll be a link to this blog as soon as the blog goes live itself, as we are aware that Creative Assembly's blogs, yeah, they kind of die every time they do a big news drop. So yeah, you might have an issue, there might be a problem, it's not certain, but obviously keep in mind that this stuff can happen considering that it did happen for the original release of Immortal Empires. So yeah, don't panic, just contact customer support and then you're good, okay? Immortal Empires is not in beta anymore. What does this mean? This is going to be quite interesting. So in short, very little. With the release of Update 2.4, the beta tag has been dropped from Immortal Empires. Removing the mode's beta status better reflects the fact that so many of you have and continue to enjoy our most epic campaign mode ever. It does not, however, mean that we have stopped working on improving the game. Far from it, in fact. Immortal Empires is only going to get bigger and better, and updates, both smaller quality of life improvements and big content drops, will continue throughout this year and far beyond. So yeah, Creative Assembly are excited about the future. I am too. This is possibly one of the biggest news drops that we've very much gotten, really. This is looking good. This is absolutely looking good. So here we've got a list of pretty much what you unlock with what you buy. And yeah, I think this is probably the best thing that they've done, as this will make it easier for you to just have a little fun. So you can see that if you purchase, for example, the Grim and the Grave for Volkmar and Helm and Ghost, which Ghost isn't really a joke anymore, you can also get access to Vlad von Carstein and Isabella von Carstein. I think that's really, really good. Same thing with the King and the Warlord. If you decide to get a Belagar and Skarsnik, you can get Forek, Grombrindle, and Wurzag too, as they aren't really considered base game things. But if you want Grimgor, Azag, then you'll need to buy the base game for Game 1. I think this is probably the best thing that Creative Assembly have done. It's an absolutely massive list because we have, what, 86 Legendary Lords, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, this is this is really, really, really good. I am actually very, very, very happy about this. This is going to hopefully make players very, very happy too, because goddamn, I am so surprised. I wasn't really expecting this. I imagined that they were going to make it available for base game eventually, but this is fantastic. Now, not only that, but we do have patch 2.4. This is another big update here. And they go about mentioning that this is the anniversary of Total War Warhammer. Well, it's actually on the 17th, but, you know, we get a little bit earlier because, well, it makes sense. And to be honest, yes, the game has improved over time. So far, so good. but there's a lot of changes coming in, so let's start talking about all the updates. And yeah, let's have some fun. Let's hope some fixes are coming in for certain things that desperately need it. So keep in mind that the patch itself is not too large, but that was kind of expected considering that they were trying to make sure that this new system worked where you could just buy DLC and move on forward. I actually spoke to someone from Creative Assembly after this, and they confirmed that the majority of the effort was pushed onto making sure that Immortal Empires was available to everyone, that if they wanted to buy certain DLC, they didn't have to buy a base game, they didn't have to buy 2 base games, so I think this is good overall. Anyways, when we jump in, Beastmen, Special Hearthstone building at Karazakarak, and Black Crag now provide Minotaurs for recruitment at tier 4 as intended. Yeah, pretty good, because obviously you want that anyway. Dark Elves campaign, Malice quest battle for the Warp Sword of Cain has been moved near his starting position in the Chaos Waste. Okay, fine. Normally you just teleport anyway, but it saves you for the teleport. Units, fixed animations for a bunch of units, which is great. Some of these animations were just kind of really bad, so I'm really happy that they fixed the one for the Cold One Knights. I think that's really, really good. Fixed a visual bug where the Dreadlord's capes would disappear when up close. Yep. Rakarth's whip no longer glitches. Yeah, good. And repeater bolt throwers now display the correct weapons in melee combat. Yeah. Again, good. Not a lot, but still very good. Again, not a lot of changes for these races. So Dwarf is just units. Okay, Dwarf Ancestor Heroes now display the correct unit category icon. Yeah, fine. Dragon-Blooded Shugengan for cafes. Porthole no longer flickers. That was actually a big reason why I used to put 2D portholes. So yeah, that's cool. Greenskins, Top Knots leader lugging 9 fingers will no longer start with a Wyvern mount at level 1. Good, because he's kind of terrifying with that mount at the beginning. There were a few other factions for the minor greenskins, which did also start with that. I hope that that is just like a retroactive change, and it changes for everyone. I'm not sure that got fixed prior, but it's a bit of a trouble if you're playing in Cafe and that dude shows up with a wyvern, you know? High Elves campaign, fixed Tyrion Sunfang quest battle. Functioning incorrectly in campaign. For real this time. Okay, finally. Good God, I've been wanting to play this character for a while and I've just not because of the quest battle thing. Let's move on. 2 Shadow Warrior units from Eliphanel's starting army have been replaced with a unit of Shadow Walkers and an extra unit of archers. Okay, yeah, fair play. A bit more range is always quite helpful. Units, fixed an animation issue causing High Elf Spearmen's legs to clip through their clothes. Okay, so they're really focusing on clipping, fixing the clipping issues and so on. That's great, because I know it bothers people. It does for me. Kislev fixed an animation error where Sargard's capes would snap between idle animations. Yep. Boyar units will no longer have a neck stump protruding from the top of their skull. Thank you. And also nothing really too big, but fixing a skinning issue on the mouth joints of the Marauder Berserkers. This is great. Yeah, I know this isn't balance and stuff, but it's fixing a lot of visual issues. I know a lot of you guys like to go in up close and see the characters and the units. I do that too. I honestly do that too. I use them, funny enough, as reference sometimes when painting my own miniatures. So this is great. This is going to solve a lot of visual problems at least. Right, Nurgle, heroes that were made to die after fulfilling their usefulness, such as Nurgle Plague Cultists, are no longer have access to the mental skill. Okay, that's fine. Alright, Ogre Kingdoms. The Snowhorn of Morn will, oh god, what a name, will no longer slide when turning around. They should have just, like, added something there to make it, you know, like the rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. I know, it's pedantics. Anyways, Skaven, general updates. Clan Eshen's The Sudden Kill Scheme right no longer provides 2 simultaneous speed bonuses. Fair. The Skaven's own stalking icon now displays correctly. Cool. Campaign. Karak 8 Peaks is now a 10-slot settlement when conquered by the Skaven as intended. Thank you. Very, very important, especially obviously if you're playing as Queek. Clan Eshen now starts with a Eshen Sorcerer instead of a Warlock Engineer. Okay. Don't know what I think about that. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense thematically, but I kind of like the Warlock Engineer more. They've fixed up some animation issues with the Warlock Engineer and the Skaven Chieftain. Again, very good. Fixing up those animations might not seem like a very important thing, but it does make things a lot better. Not much to talk about here with Slaanesh, the Empire, and Tzeentch. It's mostly just fixing up some animations and so on, which again, cool, very important, especially for me. I play a lot of Slaanesh, as you guys can imagine. It's my favorite Chaos God after all. So being able to get up close and not be annoyed with animation issues is quite important. I would like to play with Nakari again. And yeah, seeing that the Marauders are going to be fixed up and just in general fixing up all these issues, yeah, I'm happy. And again, not a lot of changes for the Vampire Coast, the Warriors of Chaos, and the Wood Elves. However, they did fix up the Citadel of Lead for the Warriors of Chaos. So yeah, that's going to actually be helpful, considering that, you know, you actually need these buildings. So yeah, I'm overall very, very happy with everything so far. I think that this is going to really help out. So yeah, it's not the largest patch that's ever been released, but this is massive, massive news, which will hopefully get the community up and running again. I know a few people have been feeling quite negative, and with good reason, don't get me wrong, things have not been the best, but this does seem like it's a very good thing. I know some people who are instantly going to start buying some DLC now because they want certain races. They didn't want to buy the base games. I think this is overall a very, very good thing. I'm super, super happy. Yeah, let's just hope for the best. Let's hope that everything works as intended. And hopefully it won't be too long until we get news on the Chaos Dwarfs. We know April is the thing, but we're already halfway through February. I don't imagine that we're going to have to wait too long to be able to get some information regarding, you know, early access and, you know, the showcase stuff. Because I really want to check out this next DLC. I'm really, really curious. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Honestly, yeah, I want to see what your reactions are. I really, I want to know, because it's been a weird time lately, and I feel like this might be good for everyone. So yeah, I'll see you all again very, very soon. I've got a few ideas to work on videos, so I'll see you soon. Yeah, have a good day.
Storm clouds gather. Our borders are beset by evil, both mundane and immortal. How long can we withstand this onslaught? We must form an alliance. We either die alone or survive together.
I concur. This threat is beyond any of us. With the Azur's guidance...
This is just another Elgates game. I see many leaders here, but you even speak for your people.
High King, this is not the time for short-sightedness.
Short? There'll be no alliance with elves while I'm High King. Only a reckoning.
We must not be blinded by our own need for power. This is the moment. Your choices will decide the fate of this world. And all that inhabit it. Make the right one!